A former Grand Rapids police officer charged with murdering Patrick Lyoya will be going to trial.
A district court judge announced this morning there is enough evidence for Christopher Schurr to be put on trial for second-degree murder in the shooting death of Lyoya in April.
13 on your side's Carla Byron is live outside of the courthouse this evening. And Carla, any insight into how the judge made his decision?
The judge says, per the law, the jury must decide whether or not Schurr was justified in shooting and killing Patrick Lyoya.
The court concludes that as a matter of law, probable cause has been presented to support the charge in the criminal complaint.
District Judge Nicholas Ayoub announcing former GRPD Officer Christopher Schurr will head to trial for second-degree murder in the shooting death of Patrick Lyoya. The judge says the crucial question the jury must answer is whether Schurr's actions were justifiable under the law.
For purposes of the probable cause standard, there is sufficient evidence from which a jury could conclude the defendant did not reasonably believe that his life was immediately at risk, or could otherwise conclude that the use of the particular force used was not reasonably necessary.
Patrick Lyoya's parents, along with their attorney, Ven Johnson, thanked the judge for his ruling. During the preliminary hearing, the defense brought up multiple accusations against Lyoya, claiming he had multiple bridge cards, credit cards, and licenses inside his vehicle, and warrants for his arrest. Johnson says this does not justify the shooting.
And I want you all to ask yourself, how did he find out that there was a license plate when he was going the opposite direction? I'm still waiting for one of you to report on that. The answer is he absolutely turned around with zero justification other than there's two brothers in a car going the other way.
Johnson says this evidence may not even be applicable at trial. One of Schurr's defense attorneys, Matt Bargula, says this testimony was relevant because it may have been why Lyoya was trying to avoid arrest.
He's disappointed, but at the same time, he trusts his counsel to represent him going forward.
Bargula adds he feels strongly Schurr will be acquitted.
Whether someone under that circumstances, whose job it is to investigate and arrest those that are committing crimes, whether he was justified in using deadly force, that is the standard. And that is the standard that we're going to see at a jury trial.
Now, Schurr did waive his arraignment in circuit court, and we're waiting to see when his next court date will be set. Reporting live in downtown Grand Rapids, Carla Byron, 13 on your side.
All right, Carla, thank you.
The packed courtroom overflowed into the hallway, and there were a lot of emotions today.
Patrick Lyoya's family has been in the courtroom every step of the way, and today we heard from them for the first time since the preliminary exam started.
13 on your side's Keely Lovren joins us now from our newsroom with that part of our team coverage and the family's reaction. Keely.
Yeah, it was emotional for the family, to say the least, and when we heard from them today, their focus was largely on keeping their son's name alive, but in a positive way.
Patrick Lyoya's loved ones leave the courtroom Monday just moments after learning that Christopher Schurr will be heading to trial.
Starting today, that's when I'm start seeing a little bit light in the tunnel. And Ayoub showed that he's a parent, he has the heart of a parent.
Patrick's parents say they feel a little bit of relief knowing that Schurr will face a jury for the second-degree murder charge in their son's death. During the preliminary hearing, the defense brought up multiple accusations against Patrick, claiming he had multiple bridge cards, credit cards, and licenses inside his car. His parents say they were heartbroken hearing the defense blame their dead son.
Especially when I saw those evidence they were bringing against him, I don't know what I can say, because my heart was really broken. That my son, I've already lost him, I bury him, and yet they're still trashing his image, his reputation, his name, just to acquit the officer. What I'm just asking for them to stop trashing the name of my son, because the more they do it, the more I'm hurt and I'm still bleeding.
Patrick's father also says watching his son's death over and over was extremely hard.
I felt the pain that I felt the first time when I saw how my son was killed.
The Grand Rapids NAACP also spoke after the judge's decision, saying they are behind the Lyoya family 100%.
And he should have had, just like Officer Schurr will have his day in court, Patrick should have been allowed and afforded that same opportunity without being executed, which the entire world witnessed. And so, folks, we got to do better.
Jackson went on to say that the community must do better to prevent things like this from happening.
And at this point now, it's about ensuring that the Lyoya family is supported fully and completely, and that they have some level of closure, whatever that looks like.
Even though we haven't got what we want yet, but we know that we are heading to the right direction. And to go according to his heart, the way that Patrick was, I know that I will have a justice for the death of my son.
Clee Jackson with the NAACP also made a point to remind the community that even with so much emotion and anger surrounding this situation, they and Patrick's family always encourage peaceful interactions as this case moves forward.
Thank you, Keely.
Well, it is going to be several months before this case actually goes to trial. Legal experts say there will be several hearings, motions, and even possibly an appeal to the judge's decision today.
Once that is settled and the trial moves forward, the two sides then need to find jurors they believe can be fair and impartial.
And even if they are familiar with it, are they willing to put aside any thoughts that they have about the case? And are they willing to listen to the evidence presented only in the courtroom during the trial and hold off on making any decision whatsoever until after all that evidence has been admitted? If they can do that and admit to it in front of the court, then the judge will allow them under most circumstances to remain as jurors.